Hi there. This aggressive attacking line in the French Winawer is named after two of its most accomplished practitioners. So this is the Morozevich Bromberger trap. And using this system, Morozevich defeated Dolmatov and Bromberger brought down Lamy. After e4 and e6 the French, d4, d5, white defends the pawn with knight c3 and bishop to b4 pins the knight and targets now the pawn on e4. White tightens up with e5 and c5 challenges white's small yet strong centre. a3 hits the bishop and aims at resolving the tension, and now after bishop takes on c3, that tension is settled a little bit after b takes on c3. Black can play knight e7, extremely common, and the thematic move here, queen g4, targets that loose pawn on g7. Many moves that black can play. Black can give up that pawn because queen takes on g7 can be met with rook to g8. So acceptable moves here are queen to c7. Even king f8 to defend the pawn is quite trendy and fashionable. But here we're looking at this line, castles. Of course, black could have taken as well on d4. After castles, bishop d3 is met by knight bc6. And again, in this very common position, some of the top players in the world, Kasparov, Anand, Karyakin and Leko, have all gone for this direct approach, queen h5, threatening checkmate on the move. So that's going to be defended by knight to g6. And now after knight f3 and queen c7, the big four I just mentioned, Kasparov, Anand, Karyakin and Leko, I've just mentioned them again, all went for bishop to e3. What other moves can white play here? Kamsky has simply castled. Boris Gelfand has gone for another direct move, knight g5. But we're not looking at any of these. We're looking at a slight sideline here, the move h4. And so we're diverging from the commoner moves, bishop e3, castles and knight g5, and looking at this move, h4. And I see that Scottish GM Jonathan Rowson has also played this, as well as the eponymous duo Morozevich and Bromberger. After this move, h4, black's actually doing okay if he trades on d4, and he might get some activity along that c-file which is opening. However, this is where black makes the crucial final mistake. c4 now hits the bishop. It might have some logic behind it, but it's in fact losing, because now white ignores the threat on the bishop, and now knight g5 has extra venom and potency. It's threatening mate on h7, so black defends with h6, but now bishop takes on g6. Since after f takes on g6, queen takes on g6, there's mate threats all over. Well, obviously h7 is the main threat, so that's defended by h takes on g5, but h takes on g5 renews the threat as the h-file opens up beautifully in white's favour. Black tries to defend with knight takes on e5, giving up the knight, since if d takes on e5, then queen takes on e5, black gets a check in and might be able to hold this position. So here the queen drops back to h5, and all sorts of threats here, possibly f4 is a threat, maybe followed by g6 closing up, and then queen h7. It's game over in all variations here. If black tries bishop d7, both players, Morozevich and what's the other guy's name? Bromberger. They both tried f4 here, although I believe that maybe rook h4 or rook h3 are just as decent. After f4, hitting at that knight, this is where they departed, the opponents of Morozevich and Bromberger. Well, let's just look at one of the lines. If queen a5, threatening to take on c3, that would be met by bishop d2. And now if rook takes on f4, then d takes on e5, and that's now winning for white, who has this beautiful h-file and the move g6, which are going to be winning. So this has been a trap in the French defense Winawer variation called the Morozevich Bromberger trap. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.